Okay, let's add you on so now everyone can see you. Now we hear you.
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, a couple of points I'd like to add because I woke up early, not been well for the last couple of days. Also, where you mentioned about this, and Mr. Reed mentions about this potato phallus picture, what you also need to mention to your viewers is that this resulted in 3 court cases in the UK, costing huge amounts of money over this and stress for me personally regarding Andy Jack continuously accusing me of producing that. And now, as you've mentioned earlier on in this stream, I've proven with video clips from 2021 where Thick Shades, Bill Cuthbert, and Andrew Jack are in the same hangout and they blame that on my editor, Alex Botton. I've also shown that Andy Jack blamed Rob Reed for that. That is defamation. The question I have is why hasn't the attorney at law offered me the opportunity for him to take Thick Shades to court for defamation slander, a slam dunk case when he lived in Los Angeles? Thick Shades no longer lives in Los Angeles. He's back in South Korea. Why did he allow such time to pass? He had a slam dunk case against Thick Shades. Why did he not offer his services to me and my wife? Over to you, Ryan.
No, that's a good question, Dave. Take the floor by all means. I'll be back in just a moment.
Yeah, okay. So all of this has gone on under the nose of Rob Reed, and even 15 months ago, he started to instigate a hate campaign against me and my book. He and Bruce Brickner, along with others, incited people to go to my Amazon page. I've got all the screenshots. Even Andrew Jack made videos about it. He didn't do it for my benefit. He did it for his own lust of a drama. That's what he does. And he's going to have to face the consequences for that here in the UK pretty soon. But the thing is, why isn't Rob Reed coming forward and saying, well, actually, that's pretty bad what they done to that poor guy and his family, showing his house burning and making all these AI videos? Where are his morals now? Why hasn't he called that out now? Why is he in there in the comment section cheering them on along with the others? You know, he moralizes all over the internet, but it really is morals for hire, isn't it? Oh, by the way, hello, nice to meet you, Brett Keane. I've never spoken to you ever, but you've been around a long time, haven't you?
Oh, too long, actually. Nice to meet you, Dave.
Yeah, good to meet you, fella. So yeah, Ryan, I just wanted to pop in. I'm not feeling up to it, but I did sort of switch on my tablet and I saw you doing this hangout and expose or whatever it is you want to call it, and I just thought I'd add my little 2 pence worth, as it were. But yeah,
By
this is
all means.
this.
By
Go
all
ahead.
means.
Yeah,
No, no,
thank
no.
you, man.
By all means, I'm happy that you came by. I didn't initially see that you were here. And I figured that I want to give Rob the opportunity to come to a panel where he's not going to be ambushed to answer why you've made all these claims. Why did you do what you did? Why didn't you go after Sam? Why is it that you made these domains an issue and continue to associate with people you don't think are religiously correct and you claim are engaging in sinful activity? I don't know if you saw it earlier, but Rob in this stream also tries to downplay his friendship with you. He said, "Oh, I've talked a little bit with Dave Connell." And I know he talked more with you than he wanted to admit.
Absolutely. I sent him all kinds of gifts. I sent him. It's in his room. It's in the where he plays his guitar and that. There's a little pot that I risked my life to get. Oh, way back in the mid 90s on a wreck dive. I sent him the last one I had. I sent him all sorts of things. We fell out, and this is the truth, over the COVID vaccines. He's a COVID zealot. You remember all of that
I
stuff.
do. I do.
And I saw a side of Rob Reed that I didn't realise was possible? You know, he was viciously mocking me. I've still got all the emails, and out of good intentions, I was saying, Rob, please don't let your family take those vaccines. Now, of course, I've been proven correct by all
Yeah.
of the, you know, the scientists that have come out, and now you've got your own government there that are banning all these vaccines. I was proven correct, but he can't. He's never been able to accept that fact. I've lost members of my family to these things, and when you've got me trying to say, "Look, Rob, I care about your family. Please don't take this," and he's mocking me, you know, making
Oh, right.
stupid, childish, you know, comments in the emails, and my intentions were true. That's what we fell out over, me and Rob. I used to think
Mm.
highly of Rob Reed, really highly, and what I've witnessed over, I would say, over the last 15 months, most of all, let alone the last, I don't know, 3 years, is a shocking and appalling. And the thing that they did the other day is they're all acting as a group to cover their evil deeds, and it's obvious to see. And
Mm.
you had Andy Jack boasted on his page yesterday. A lot of my friends saw that and they were outraged that he forced DMCA bombed my Rumble channel over content that essentially isn't his. I mean, he in some of the videos he's showing me, he's using clips from the BBC, and he's claiming that he owns that content. But it's just to suppress the truth. They will do
Well, right.
anything, including file false DMCA claims. But here's the thing, right, Ryan? You first came because if you remember, if you cast your mind back, I don't know, about 5 years ago, they even convinced you that I was this outrageous,
They did.
deranged monster. But once you
Oh,
you
they did.
actually started talking to me, you realised that this was not true, was not the case.
Oh, absolutely.
And then, if you remember, you told me that Cuthbert had been blackmailing you over
Yes.
this incident. And this is the truth, ladies and gentlemen. I did not release that to the public. So help me God. And I will say that in a court of law. It was Bill Cuthbert because I confronted him. They use this word infiltrate, and I suppose that is a good word. But here's another truth that I want you all to know. The reason I was friendly with Andy Jack and Bill Cuthbert for a few years is because I got tired of going to court. Well, I've tried everything. I've tried putting court
Mhm.
orders on Jack. It doesn't work. He breaches it, and he gets thick shades to do his dirty work, as his pit bull, as Brett Keane said there. Now they've got this GY6 character. And Rob Reed said something to me, get close to them, but keep them at arm's length. That's what I tried to do, and
Mm.
that failed also. So I got to the point, I thought, what else do I do? You know, and that was it. When they started making all these horrible sock accounts about 15 months ago for no good reason, I thought, that's it. I've had enough.
I can't
And
blame you.
no, and this is when they started jumping on that. It was Bill Cuthbert, because I confronted him. I showed him the video privately that you made for the police. And make no mistake, DC Clark came to my home and looked at that. He said, there's no offences on your part or Cuthbert's, right? That was a police officer. He said, there's no, you know,
Right.
you was a minor. But Cuthbert went with that.
Oh, I know. I know.
He gave it to
Well,
GY6. And then,
mhm.
of course, if you cast your mind back, I've got that hangout where um, uh, I think Eric got the wrong end of the stick and got it sort
He
of
did.
backwards. And he asked me, and I've got the video, he says, could you please, brother, let me see that clip? And I trusted him. And the
Right.
rest, you know, it ended up on his channel out of context. I didn't let him see the entire conversation. And at that time, Ryan, let's be honest, I was at peace with Bill Cuthbert at the behest
Mhm.
of Rob Reed. I didn't want to end up having all this explode up again and again and again. And I just wanted everybody to just stop damn well talking it, including you, Ryan, because I think you did mention it in one of the streams on Smokies a long time ago. And I just didn't want any of this. But the thing is, you know, the genie's out of the lamp, and that it is what it is. But they've gone along with this narrative that Ryan is a potato, whatever. And even Andrew Jack made videos, which you've got, where he says, no, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. But now you are again. They're so
yeah.
fickle and indecisive. They change with the weather. It's all entertainment to them, all of them. It's just entertainment. But in my case, and my family's case, and in your case, of course, it's cost suffering, money, lots of money, stress, loss of jobs. You've got my medical reports, right?
Yes, I mean, I'm not going to divulge the contents of them, but I can confirm that you did lose work because of this online trolling.
They stole my website, for goodness sake, when I was self-employed. The DJ Groove Machine, www.djgroovemachine.co.uk. That was my disco company, my DJ company. And when my webmaster was ill for 2 weeks, he couldn't even get out of damn bed. He faltered on the payments because he took care of that. Thickshade stole it. And if you go on the Wayback Machine, you can see it was turned into a porn domain along with Andy Jack's video.
I was about to mention that.
Andy Jack suffered the same.
Andy Jack had a cam cap domain, which he let lapse in or around 2020 or thereabouts, maybe a little earlier. And the second it did, Thick Shades grabbed it and turned it into a porn domain. Andy pulls out his phone on video and shows that Sam had turned it into an erotic domain.
Yeah. And that was my that was the end. And but at that time I was going to retire. So what I actually did is I let my friend, a famous YouTuber, he's known for Troll Station, members of Troll Station, Disco Boy, and he's a professional disc jockey. So I changed it over to him and promoted him as an agent and also a young girl from Dover who was an up-and-coming DJ. And that's when it went. That's when they took it away and turned it into a porn domain. And that cost me a fortune. On top of that, I was forced to start cleaning petrol station forecourts with my wife. And they were calling me a paedophile publicly, giving me trials and all sorts of stuff. And it made me so... That's going to have an impact psychologically on people. It doesn't bother them. I remember when I was friendly with Mr. Jack the first time, I was calling him up. I was sending him emails, and he used those against me. They're threatening emails. I'm not surprised. He gave me a trial for paedophilia for, in the Old Bailey, for producing this picture, which has now been proven 100% to have been either Thick Shades or Bill Cuthbert, because Bill Cuthbert said himself that Thick Shades accused him of doing it. So all of them willfully, knowingly participated in Andy Jack's case. 10 years of slander and harassment of the most evil, vicious kind, knowingly, for their own amusement.
And the significant thing is Rob Reed knows this.
He does. He's got my medical records because he supplied an affidavit for the court. He was privy to that and he knows it now, and he is silent. But he's not silent about all these other things, is he? Oh, he's going to sue everybody for copyright theft. Here's another thing. All those videos that are up on Rumble there of of Rob Rees. I said to him when I was friendly, can I use these, Rob? He said, sure. He said, sure.
If you have that documentation, then he can't.
I've got to find it.
DMCA you. The other thing about DMCA is that Section 107 is the fair use section. And within fair use, journalism, news reporting, criticism, and education are all valid uses of the copyright. So
that's it.
By documenting what you've documented and what I've documented, we have more than satisfied what would be considered fair use under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act.
Well, the thing is, as Reed knows, and they all know, is last year my dear friend George, no longer with us, was staying with us, and he posted a lot of that stuff. He said, you should start a channel, and you should show me how to start a channel. He says, and I'll do this, he said, because these people need to be exposed for what... He was outraged. And this is a former British Army veteran that was dying of cancer. And they knew that as well. And they intensified their attacks upon me and my book. I mean, for goodness sake,
Oh yeah,
leaving
I mean,
fake.
look, Stefan remarked about that. He says, "I remember Andy made a big noise about Linda's fake review," and he did until, of course, he decided to flip the script and start coming after you and me.
Exactly. What have they got on Andy? And I've went through some of those videos with the Matt Bell, and I had a few friends here, quite important friends, and we picked out a few things were kind of disturbing. I did mention to you before,
Right.
and one of those videos, I think it was the first one. My mate said, "Why would you volunteer that information? That he's worried that there might be something on his computer, talking about hacking. It's
Well,
bizarre."
one of the first things that Thick Shades ever told me when he pulled me aside, and it was just he and I, was that A, Bill was a bad father, and allegedly B, Bill was a pedophile. And I've always wondered, okay, Sam, I can understand the first one, and that's essentially true because Bill himself has proven what kind of a father he is. But the second one, I've always wondered if I could talk to Thick Shades, I would say to him, why did you say that to me without a second's hesitation? He said it as matter of factly as, Ford is a major auto company.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing about that as well, right? Bill Cuthbert has been pushing this narrative for 15 years. No, not quite 15 years. That narrative come across, I think it was around when Joseph Byron Swain was around, which would be about 2015, 2016. This narrative of the picture came out, but also Bill's been pushing knowingly this narrative that I've called him a paedophile. I haven't. It
Yeah.
was his cousin, Trevor Vernon, and I've already proven that. He perpetuated that. Whether it's true or whether it's false is irrelevant. The fact is, he tried to peg that on me, and I've always maintained it was not me that started.
Well, that's correct. That's why I've also referenced the first time I ever heard anything about alleged pedophilia and Bill Cuthbert was from Thick Shades. Then I
It,
come across in the time the Trevor Vernon video. So I
exactly.
didn't say that about him. Thick
No.
Shades and Trevor Vernon did.
Well, he's called me just about everything under the sun. He
Of
says
course.
that I'm stalking his kids, and
Uh,
this is like, oh, are those the children that you presented all over the internet mocking Final Call and attacking me? The very same
right.
children, along with the children placed in your care in Praiseways Church. Oh no, but why would he download it? I've already put a video up on Rumble because the police told me to download everything, screenshot everything, including with Mr. Jack.
Exactly.
And they twist that. He's stolen my videos. It's the explicit orders or the precise orders of the Kent Police for the last 15 years. And I've got all the recorded telephone conversations, what I'm not going to put up on YouTube because I need those, where they tell me to do exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
And they live a fantasy. It's like they're a bunch of fantasists that they believe their own fantasies on YouTube. And it sort of dawned on me very quickly with the case of Thick Shades, Bill Cuthbert, and Andy, is they care more about how they're seen on this fantasy life they live on YouTube than the real world or the consequences
Well,
there.
you use the word fantasy. I use the word delusion. I think we mean the same thing.
I think we do. Yeah, I think I could go along with that as well, Ryan. But I just thought, I've been going through some of the videos that Jack's made. I grew a conscience. He's devoid of any of them are devoid of a conscience.
None of them have a conscience. That's abundantly clear.
But this is going to end badly. It's going to end sooner or later because me and my wife and some friends and my family, they've even mentioned my nephew. Thick Shades has mentioned my nephew. Yeah, on a sock account that's owned by Cuthbert, the typical modus operandi, juvenile behaviour. And he's making a big mistake bringing that lad in,
Of course. And from my perspective, they look at me and they get all mad about the archive. Why do you think I uploaded that archive? Do you think it was just because I could?
Well, it's
Or,
the thing.
oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, but they're ignoring the massive herd of elephants in the room.
Of
If
course.
you're offended by the material that's up there, why did they create it in the first place?
Exactly.
It's
GY6,
malicious. All of it.
GY6 did a post saying he's going to sue me because I'm accusing him of all these crimes. It's called, like I said earlier, it's called prima facie, which is the direct evidence. This is the video that you made. This is the time you made it, and this is what you said in it.
Exactly. Andy Jack made a complaint to the police last week, and they called me at about 10 o'clock in the evening. I was in bed, and they said, "Hello, Mr. Jack. We've had a complaint." I said, "Andy Jack or Bill Cuthbert?" He said, "Mr. Jack," and he said, "Give me your story." So I told him. I said, "Well, he's claiming that I'm harassing him by defending myself publicly against the malicious and harassing videos he's made for over a decade, resulting in at least 2 court orders on him, which he's made public, by the way." And he went, "Okay, we're not going to take any more action, but we would advise you to take it down." I said, "No, I'm not." I said, "I've got the human right to defend myself against defamation, slander, and harassment publicly." Mr. Jack and Mr. Cuthbert have decided to put this in the public domain on social media, and that is where I intend to fight them, because it's the only thing they care about. And I'm more than happy to stand in front of a judge and demand, if Mr. Jack's stupid enough, and he probably is, to try and sue me for objecting to his slander. That's basically it. How dare you embarrass me by showing how I slandered and harassed and stalked you for like 10 years?
I
Go
know,
for it.
right?
Go for it. Because the judge...
I feel the same way. You all know exactly where I live.
Mm.
Go to the courthouse in my city and file. I will be waiting for the discovery phase.
Exactly. The thing is, Jack knows he's tried it before and it failed miserably,
I
and
know.
he just humiliated himself. Why did he phone the police, right, twice, and video himself doing it and put it up? That right there, when PC Stuart Scaife phoned him up, he says, "Oh, I'm recording this, by the way," and it sort of stopped PC Stuart Scaife. And he went, "Right." He said, "And at some point, it might end up on the internet." Yeah, some point, like about 10 minutes later. And like,
I saw that video, yeah.
Stuart Scaife should have he did pick up immediately. This guy's got no intention of stopping harassing Mr. Chapman. And then he made one the next day. And it was a false allegation just to prove a point to somebody called Mark Anoia. There you see, Mark, I wasn't joking. And he showed some half-assed screenshot with no date, no proof of where it came from, to justify what he just did. And that was wasting police time and making malicious complaints against me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been like that ever since. And it's just gotten to the point, Ryan, I'm not even going to respond to the fucking, excuse my French, idiot, because you can't reason with criminally insane. And it's the same applies to all of them. I'm just not going to bother. I'm just going to use sane people to put a spotlight on all of this and show what these people do to innocent victims. They live to harm people and hurt people.
And it's funny because they'll claim, well, what you're doing this to hurt me. No, I'm simply reflecting your own content. I am demonstrating exactly like Dave says, exactly what you say. In fact, that's why I did this stream. I am now confused because Rob Reed in this video makes multiple contradictory claims, and he essentially just admitted that he had no case against Sam because Sam had very few subscribers. And by pointing all these porn domains at his channel and other channels, Rob did not suffer any damages. So the big question in the room is, if you think porn is sinful and you called him out on the domains, then why did you continue to associate with him past 2019? Because this would have been the perfect opportunity to say, Sam, I've tried reasoning with you. We've gone back and forth about this. I just can't be a part of this. Please take down the domain.
I can answer that simply because he uses it all the time. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Hmm. Well,
He
then that
tells you.
all right. That begs a good question. Then, if Thick Shades is the enemy of his enemy, then who is Rob's enemy? Because he made a community post the other day. The enemies are falling apart. Like, I wonder who that would be. Rob, would you like to clarify?
The thing is, right, Ryan, and I've told the Kent police this, and I told the court, I hate all this. I
I do
despise it
too.
all. And they're dragging me, just like Alex Botten explained. I mean, Andy Jack actually done a copyright claim on an Alex Botten video that I'd put up that I had the permission. You know, he
Right.
claimed copyright on that.
It's
What?
impossible. That's impossible because there's no way he owns the image and likeness or the rights to Alex Botton's content.
It's because they're delusional. You know,
Of course.
they truly believe, ladies and gentlemen, and I've got videos where they actually say that they're ordained by God. They're the chosen
Oh
ones.
yes, Bill Cuthbert and the dude claim that they are the church.
They're
That
crazy.
they speak to animals. They go to space prisons. Praise thinks he's seen the physical Holy Spirit.
I
They,
know, I've got it all, Ryan. I've seen it all.
oh
I've
yeah,
heard it.
they're nuts. They're out.
Can
They're
I
out there gourd.
may I ask you a question, Dan? Have you tried a counter DMCA? They can't hold you to it and control your videos if you counter it.
I did. I did exactly that because he got 5 strikes on Rumble, and I was amazed. Right, I woke up and I looked at it, and then I just sent some legal documents over, and I was amazed. Within 20 minutes, it was back up. I counted it straight away, and it's so much faster than YouTube. YouTube, you got to wait sometimes weeks to get a response.
Yep.
But on Rumble, they were brilliant. I just said, look, I showed them the sources of where this come from and who was in it, and just did a little chronology and all of this. Showed them some legal documentation of the harassment that I've endured, and they thought, oh my God, put it back up immediately. And the fact that they're destroying evidence, and that's the thing is, all of that group seem to think that they have the God-given right, and you can't argue with someone who thinks that way. I mean, you're wasting your time to slander and harass and persecute and torment anyone they choose without any recourse or any challenge whatsoever. And if you dare to even challenge slightly, the next thing you know, you've got a summons come through your door and trying to sue you for £12,500 times 2, apparently. So, £25,000 for defending yourself against, the harmful, slanderous, libelous content that these people churn out every single freaking day of their pointless existences.
Well, this is their existence. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They have the capacity physically to desist from this activity,
They can't. That's just
and
it.
they don't, and they won't.
Even under a court order, I showed videos of all the files I've got on. I've got about 5 terabytes in total, and I said to the police, "How long do I have to keep recording? And screenshotting all of this stuff and paying for hard drives when you're not taking any action?" Well, I shouldn't really say this. I've written to one of the top MPs, a party that I'm a part of, and I'm hoping that he can bring this up in Parliament to counter this Online Harms Act, where people like Lucy Connolly have been put in jail for 3 years for a single solitary tweet, right?
Mhm.
Yet I've had to endure 15 years of the most evil, vicious, dangerous, and I do mean dangerous, and so I've put all this into the parliamentary, arena in the hope that they can do something about this and perhaps use it. But, I've said to these people, I said to the police, all right, let me imagine this scenario. Somebody maliciously, knowingly calls you a paedophile, shows your image,
Yep.
shows your house, a map how to get there, sends you pizzas to try and intimidate. What is the purpose of that? And he just had this blank, expression. I said, well, it's to get you murdered, isn't it? The intention is that hope that some
Right.
lunatic will see that and get you killed. and not just me, my family. And
Yep.
I think that is extremely serious. It is in my book, and everyone sane that I've spoken to. So these people have got to be called out. They should have no safe platform, no safe refuge. And as you said, Matt, um, I will continue to expose them with their own material, and I will critique it as Rob Reed himself said only last year when he was showing people how to take down videos, but he was also mentioning by default that you can also do a commentary, a review of a video, as you are now doing here. When I woke up, and I saw
Hmm.
you doing it. So, it seems to me that the law is a very one-sided thing when it comes to Rob Reed and his crew.
May I
Well,
offer
and
you guys
I will.
another suggestion, real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
You remember earlier I was talking to you about the whole X social media. There's more than just the FBI and the attorney generals, all this kind of stuff. Have you heard of TeamTube at X.com before?
I haven't. I'm a 62-year-old ex-biker, retired. I hate YouTube, but a friend of mine knows all about that. Believe me, he's a massive YouTuber, and he's working on that now. Funny you should say that, Brett. He's working on that now
So the
because
the reason why I brought it up, Dave, is because I had asked AI, I said, how could I get a hold of YouTube? Because getting a hold of YouTube, as you probably all noticed, is an annoyance. It's a problem, and you probably won't ever get any kind of input. But Grok told me that Team YouTube is the employees that work in the support department of YouTube. I have sent them countless links of videos where people have made death threats, where they said they're going to come to my home and do horrible shit. And I've seen all those channels wiped the hell out. Now, if
Mm.
you'd like, I'll be more than happy to give you a link. If you have all this stuff archived, both of you, threats and them accusing you, things like that, all you got to do is post it to them and say, hey, this is the channel. This is where they're calling me this shit. Give them the timestamp, and they will take that shit out.
please do, please do. Would you like my
Yes.
email address? I'll do it. I'll do it live. I don't care because
My email is brettkeenphone@gmail.com. If you send me a message, Ryan, he's got plenty of ways to contact me as well. I'll be more than happy to give you the direct link
I'll
to it.
definitely get over to you, Brett, about that because that would be very useful. Essentially, it allows you to bypass the corporate structure of YouTube to alert the direct employees of YouTube. This is what's going on your platform.
Mm,
Let me also say, from my perspective, that I have prepared all of this evidence so meticulously that has come at a great personal cost to myself. It has come at a huge emotional burden. My church got threatened. My family got threatened. I
yep, I
got
saw
threatened.
that. I saw that. I
Yep.
captured that. They were
Yep.
blackmailing you. That was GY6. This
Yeah.
Brian Davis Moore
Davis
from
Jr.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Davis.
I've got
Yep.
that.
And he, yeah, which was a direct hate crime, by the way. I have had to endure all of this because of Rob Reed. And I
Hmm.
say that because it was Rob Reed, and you may remember this, Dave, because you have the streams, who went on the old streams where they started slandering me and said, Ryan is a dick. Ryan is a jerk. He deserves this. And then proceeded to tell them that to call me a pedophile, to attack me, is not illegal. He would represent these different people who
Hmm.
live in various different states and even different countries. Now, that alone is interesting because that sounds a lot like the unauthorized practice of law. If you're a California lawyer, you cannot advise someone in Pennsylvania or Tennessee or heaven forbid the UK
Hmm.
about law.
Oh
You're
no.
out of your element.
It's completely different law system here, legal judicial system. I mean, the affidavit that he supplied was worthless. Really, it didn't give any teeth, as he puts it, to it at all. I had enough evidence. I've got so much on these people. You think they would have just taken the opportunity to just disappear
I know.
and just go and find some little, crevice to hide in and just never surface again, but it's obviously a serious mental illness in the case of Mr. Jack and Mr. Cuthbert, and
Oh,
certainly Thick
yes.
J's.
And that
So
I've tried to do the same. I've given them the opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. I've tried to get them to come on panels to reason with me. I've tried with, in the case of even Rob. Now, I called Rob's law office. I don't know if anyone knows this. I've called Rob before and tried to talk it out with Rob,
Hmm.
and none of this has worked.
No.
None. So now I have no other option. Congratulations. We're going to go the legal route. But
Well,
before
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Brett.
Well, I was going to say, when you guys are ready to email me at brettkeenphone@gmail.com, I'll be more than happy to give you the link.
Sure.
They will tell you once you post a couple things that they would probably would like to message you, and then they will start talking to you through emails. All you have to do is provide the screenshots and the videos and give them the exact timestamp where you were threatened, or someone called you some horrific name like the potato bit and all this kind of stuff, and they will go bye-bye. I have seen countless channels go bye-bye for doing horrible shit to myself. And you know me, most hated guy on the internet, Ryan. You've seen it for yourself.
Yeah.
I've taken Uncle Sam and Thick Shades down about 4 times over the 15 years. I wish I video captured it at the time because it was hilarious. He was Sam was doing a live hangout slandering me, and he literally went poof while he was online. He suddenly went, oh, and then his
Yeah,
channel just went boff, and he was gone. And Rob Reed there he mentioned something like that. He says, you shouldn't boast about it. Why not? They do it all the time. At the end of the day, Brett, all I did was come to YouTube in 2010 because I was so terrified out of my wits over stuff that we all saw, and there was like 6 of us telling our story. That's all I came for, to tell our paranormal stories, and it was going great until this Jonathan Turden came on the scene and started telling me I need Jesus and all of this, and it just escalated from there. Really, it's crazy shit. I'm probably going to write another book about it, but I've been, trying to balance between would anyone want to read it and the overwhelming desire to expose what these evil people have done and continue to do to this very hour.
Indeed.
Well, Dave, on the internet, it don't matter how articulate you are, how intelligent, how cool your videos are. You got sociopaths and psychopaths. They just see your face and say, man, I'd like to punch it. That's just the
I'm
way the
curious.
bastards are. They're sick.
Who is this potato masher that is in my backstage? If you'd like to come on my panel, then you're going to have to show your face so I know that it's a real person. If you don't, then I'm just going to kick you.
It's probably Rob Reed or fucking some idiot like fucking Brickner or something. He's a fucking
Something like
neurotic moron, you know. Potato masher. Show your face,
Show
arsehole.
your face.
Yeah, look at him. Look at his skinny little puny little fucking twerp. Hate. Yeah, that's a nice
Show your
tattoo.
face.
Hate. Yeah. That
Hmm.
sums it up. There you go. That sums it up
Show
right.
your face, Brian.
Is that Brian, do you think?
It's my
He's
guess.
he's a puny little rat fuck. Look at him.
Yeah, he is pretty puny, eh?